Hey, good afternoon. I've been sitting a lot today, and I'm still sitting. And for a lot of the time that I've been sitting, I've been thinking that I would like to be moving. And I'm getting ready to go outside, walk about a bit, and take care of some stuff. But while I'm still in here sitting, I'm going to start moving right from my seated position. So welcome to join me if you're in a chair already, or if you want to get in a chair that you can comfortably sit kind of at the edge of, so that you can feel yourself sitting tall with a lengthened spine. And then sitting, like have your butt on the chair, but not much more. Let your thighs be free and off the chair. And just give a slight rock back and forth of your pelvis. So curving your lower back in and your belly forward and then back. Straightening out your lower back curve and pulling your abdomen in. You can be relaxed about it. Just feeling that motion in your spine a few times. You can incorporate your shoulder blades if you want, and your arms. Do it your way. Maybe get a little chest circle going on in one direction. And as you're circling your chest, you can continue to pay attention to the relationship between your upper spine movement and what's going on with your lower spine, curving forward and back. And maybe go the opposite direction of whatever direction you've been going. Don't worry too much about how you're breathing, as long as you are breathing. Okay, now I'm gonna isolate and just do a smaller circle with my chest. If you want to place your hand on it, on your chest, and feel a little bit how your breastbone chest like it comes up and down as you make a small circle, and then change the direction. Okay, that's enough of that. I'm just gonna shrug all the way up a few times and then let my shoulders drop down. Completely relaxed. Holding them up for a second and then just letting them drop. And I just happen to be syncing this with my inhale to raise up my shoulders and breathing when I let it go. Okay, I'm going to keep going like this, and hopefully you are too if you want to be doing that. Obviously, otherwise you would have already closed this. Just let's lower the shoulders deliberately now, instead of letting them drop, with as much effort and intention as you raise them all the way up. Also, consciously and actively the whole time, lower them down. You might feel this motion on the down part coming like from your armpits down, and then raising them back up. Now up here at the top, really squeeze them and keep them raised up for just take a deep breath here. And then do the same thing down, really lower them. Hold them down and take a breath there. Okay, back to just upping and downing them, and then maybe get into some rolls to the back and to the front. And then bring your arms elbows bent to like 90 degrees, and then as if you wanted to touch your elbows together behind your back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then just relax them, and then squeeze them together behind you again. I already feel different. Of course, because I'm doing something different than just sitting on the computer. Squeeze the shoulder blades behind you and relax. Squeeze them. Let's do it like 4 more times or something. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of a like marching kind of situation from here in my chair. So just lengthening up through my spine, thinking about an accordion, extending a little. And I'm doing like this rolling we did before, just like a little, like 5% of that to tuck my tailbone under, just a little. And then I'm just picking up my knee. You can't see my feet, they're just relaxed. And putting it down again, picking up the other one. And yeah, just marching side to side. But put some effort into maintaining your upright posture and your torso stability rather than moving like this. So yeah, maybe think about balancing something on your shoulders, sitting as nice and tall. You can put your hands here if that gives you a reminder, like some input, so that you're not leaning. And just I'm just gonna do this maybe like for my own count from 10. And then yeah, just check that your ankle is nicely lined up under your knee when you pick it up, and that your knee feels aligned with your hip relatively. It's okay to wobble a little here and there, but overall alignment is the goal, and ideally also the effect of doing these movements. So okay, I'm gonna start extending my leg at some point, probably after this next one. So I'm resting my heel on the floor, which you can't see. I guess I could move so that you could see, just in case that's helpful. Okay, and I'm gonna keep going here, but this time my leg is extended. And then the other one. And at this point, it's helpful to me to, you could sit on your hands if that's where there's space for them, or hold on to either side of your chair to lift your extended leg. And keep your upright posture of your upper body. I would say I've done this like 3 or 4 times on each side, and I'm next gonna hold my extended leg up and take a breath or 2 here. Yeah, maybe another breath. If that feels crampy in your thigh, you can bend it slightly, or just drop it down and give it a little pat and rub, whatever helps. Hopefully it's not crampy though. Take another 2 deep breaths with your other extended leg held up. I'm gonna do that twice more on each side. So hold your left leg up. Breathe 1 and 2. And back to the right. Again, if you don't like it all the way outstretched, you can bend as much as you want, as little or as much as you want. And 1 and 2 deep breaths. And just 1 more time on each side. Okay, last one on the right. Cool. Okay, I think that's enough sitting on the chair. I'm starting to feel a bit warmer, ready to stand, but I'm gonna keep working with my chair. So you can now take your palms, place them on the chair, or hold on to the edge of the chair if that works for you, and then bring your heels together in a V. So your heels are touching and the front of your feet are open wide. So your feet are making a V shape. And bring that little tuck to your tailbone and then come on up onto the balls of your feet. You might scoot them together a little so that your heels can still touch. And just from here, hang on a second. Literally let your head hang a little and look side to side. Look at the inside of your elbows or beyond them maybe. And let it be kind of an easy and fluid motion. Oops, I'm probably talking right into the mic there. It might be a little noisy. Okay. Yeah, so like top of your head parallel with the floor as you look slowly side to side. Couple more times. Okay, and you can do a little floppy shake. Ah, that's nice. Okay, now keep yourself elevated on the balls of your feet and with your heels touching, pushing your hands into the chair, lifting your abdomen up and slightly curling your tailbone under, and then bend your knees down so you're like a frog, and then just come back up like this. And I'm gonna say let's do it like 8 more times. Notice what you feel from your toes up through the arch of your foot and your ankles. What do your calves feel like when you do this? And how about your knees? Are they making sounds? Mine are. And I said 8 times. I think this is maybe like 6 or 7. So I don't know, like 2 more. Because I actually said 9 and I was thinking 10. Okay, that's good. You can drop your heels down and then just alternate rolling through each foot side to side. You can sit your bottom back and keep or even bring your forearms onto the chair to get more of a stretch through your hamstrings and a little bit your back at the same time. So let your one heel be raised, your other foot flat, and lean back. Coming forward to switch, raising your other heel, leaning back into it. Nice. Okay, cool. Right before I started recording, I was like playing around, and then I was like, oh, let me just record this. On the floor, I like to do what I usually call a pointer. Some people call this a bird dog, but I've found a nice way to do it with the chair. If you just don't feel like being on all fours, or if you do feel like continuing to use the chair, here's a version of that. So point one toe out behind you, keeping your hips squared and pointing forward towards the chair, and then reach your opposite arm out, and then you can bring your elbow and knee in towards one another. They don't need to touch. You're just getting a nice curve in your spine, and ideally inhaling in here if you want, and then exhaling as you reach long. see what you can do about not curving your lower spine too much when you're in this extension, and think more about reaching long through your limbs while maintaining a relative degree of verticality. Is that the right word I'm looking for? Maybe not. Like being long through your spine rather than curved. Sometimes this can feel long, and this might not look as long. Do you know what I mean? I sure hope so. Anyway, let's keep going. Play around. I mean, you can do this. Floppy, and then try with a little more stability through your center. I feel more work when I do it this way. And I'm going to do it twice more. And I also feel my standing leg working to support me. Let's do it on the other side. So reaching out long with your toe and your arm. Actually, even just holding this is like nice. Okay, inhale and reach long. Maybe on this side I'll like count a little more, like 8, 6 more, 4 more, 2, and last one. Yeah. Okay, nice. You can wiggle your hips and shoulders towards each other on the same side. So you're like curving your spine to the side like a snake, maybe. And I'm now going to use this back of my chair and just do a little rotating for the pelvis this is fine. Placing your palms on the back of your chair if you can, or if you have a tabletop available to you, that works too. And space behind you to extend your leg again, kind of like we were. Let's check in with the foot. Is your weight evenly distributed throughout your foot? You could think of the ball of your foot under your big toe, and then the outer corner of your foot under your pinky toe, and your heel as 3 points on a tripod that ideally would be evenly sharing the weight of your body. And now with that leg reaching behind you, you can rotate your hips open, facing one side of your room or space that you're in, and then point the hips back down to the floor, and then you can pivot again to open. You can think about your hips like these are your hips, and this, my pointer finger is your spine, like rotating around your spine in this direction. Yeah, let's do it like 3 more times. So from pointing the hips down and forward towards the floor, opening up to the side. I said 3 more. 2. And 1. I'm going to do a little bit more of this type of stretching here. And I just feel like adding onto that a bit before we do the other side. So I'm going to come back into my extended leg, rotating to the side, and then bringing my knee up like towards the shoulder, extending again. And I'm going to stay up and do it 4 more times. All right. 3. I really feel that in my opposite glute. 2 and 1. Okay, cool. Let's do the other side. So reach out behind and pivot. I think from this side it illustrates the pivoting motion more, if that's helpful to see. Also checking in with this foot, making sure you're feeling stable and like your weight is evenly distributed. 3, 2, and last one. And then let's come in for a little side to side stretch, alternating, bending one knee and the other, and sitting back into it as much as you'd like. Come back to having your leg extended, pivot to the side, and then we're gonna bring the knee in towards the shoulder and extend it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you want to do less or more than that, you don't have to be bound to my count. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, from here, I don't think I said this earlier, but I was like thinking when we were moving shoulders around, I'd like to come back to that just a little more. So now's a good time for that. And it's just gonna look like dropping your torso down towards the back of the chair without doing a whole lot with your arms. Shoulders and shoulder blades are involved here, but the arms themselves are just extended, holding us above the chair. So you're leading the movement with your heart, with the middle of your chest, your sternum. I just recently learned, if this is interesting to you, it was to me, that the little bone up here is called manubrium, and I liked that. So yeah, just like your middle of your chest coming closer to the space in between your hands, and thusly your shoulder blades pressing together and then drawing it away and creating space between your shoulder blades. Okay, you know what? Let's get right into threading the needle from here, because I'm a big fan of doing that on a table, on the edge of the bed, desk, anything. Of course, again, we can do this on all fours if we want to, but we don't have to. And what it's going to look like here is, also this is like we did pivoting with our hips. Now we're going to involve the shoulder girdle to get some rotation in the upper spine. So take one hand away, open to the side. Hello. Do your best to keep your hips pointing forward. So when we're opening towards this side, you're almost like twisting in the opposite direction, really just maintaining your position with your lower body. And then bring your hand through underneath your armpit and reach toward the opposite side of the room. And open up again. I'm going to do it like 4 times on each side. But if it feels good to you and you want to keep going, be my guest. Actually, I'm going to do another one. Because, yeah. Okay, cool. And then the other side. Reaching wide and open. Hips stay pointing forward. Shoulder blades coming together. And reaching under. One nice thing about doing it like up off the floor like this is you have room to reach your arm actively the whole way through, really sweeping. I like this point of it best, where I'm like making space in my back. I think 2 more if we're going to be doing it evenly on each side, which I always try to go for, but I don't always perfectly achieve that, if I'm being honest. Okay, nice. Now, I would only recommend this if your chair surface is flat and not at an angle, which I think this one is. I didn't test this beforehand, but it looks flat, and I think we're gonna be fine. Just to get a little single and double leg stretch in here. So if your chair is flat, go ahead and sit on it to the side. If your chair is not flat, meaning not like tipped back, then feel free to like pause and find one that isn't and come right back, or just get on the floor. This works well there. Or yeah, I think it would not be great to be on an uneven surface. So if you have like an ottoman or something, I trust you to figure it out, or just leave it at that and come back to this another time if you don't have a surface that works for you, if you don't feel like being on the floor today. So let's moving right along, assuming you do have a flat chair. Pick your knees up, curl your body in, like tucking your tailbone and bringing your chin under, and then inhale and reach one leg out, and then hug your other knee in and switch. I'm finding this really not that easy at all, but I'm going to keep going. So good luck to you. And I'm going to do it once more on each side, I think, for a total of like 3 or 4, probably 3, which makes me want to do 2 more so I can do 5. Now I'm just very confused. Okay. That's what happens with like experimenting live on recording. I just don't know what's going to happen. It's not that crazy, and we'll stop after this. Or at least I will, even though the video doesn't keep going. Don't let that stop you from continuing to move. I do that sometimes. Okay, let's see what happens when I try a double. Okay, this is fine. It's not a full, like, curled in, but it works. Just one more. And I know things like this are done on like the actual chair, and what? Would I be like this? Maybe? I guess so. I was very like vertical. So I guess you would fully, yeah, that's totally different. Not totally. So you can, should I even upload this? Yeah, I'm gonna. So it can look like this. Maybe I should say more to make this more safe. What I'm gonna say is that like, I just think that if you feel like, this is really weird and I can't do it, then you stop. I'm saying this a little too late. But if you're like, this is cool and I feel fine about it, then continue. So I'm gonna redo the single leg in here. Yeah, I scooted down so that a little more of my midsection is supported by the chair. That's way better. And this is basically how you would do it on the floor. And I'm not really giving you many cues or directions. So let me just take a second. Okay. So yeah, I'm actually done. I hope you had so much fun and enjoyed this. Bye. Come back. I'll do it again. I'm a little rusty or whatever. So yeah, bye.